Hello, this is Bob, Xavier's father. Just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow.
Hello, Bob. I was hoping to say all of this in person, but I'm Andrea, and it's very nice to meet you. I have to say that I wasn't expecting to hear from you, so thank you for reaching out to me. I've heard so much about you from Xavier.
Well, the reason that I'm reaching out to you like this in the first place is because I have some questions for you.
Some questions? Well, what kind of things were you wanting to ask? I'll answer them as best I can.
Very well then. My first question is, just what is it that attracts you to my son?
You want to know what it is that I see in Xavier?
Well, I'm sure that it has nothing to do with the rich family he comes from, right? And I'm certain that it also is completely separate from the fact that he's in line to take over the family business too, correct? Basically, I want to know that you're not just dating my son because of who he comes from and what he's in line to be.
Oh, I understand. No, sir, nothing like that is going on at all. In fact, until recently, I didn't even know that Xavier was in line to take over the company at all. But even after finding out about it, it didn't change the way I feel about him at all, so please don't worry about that.
I just hope that you can understand why I might be concerned about this. Coming from as much wealth as we do, there are lots of potential suitors out there that would marry into this family just for access to that power.
I completely understand why that might be something to worry about in your case. But if you're concerned about me marrying your son for the money, then I only hope my words are enough to make you think otherwise.
That remains to be seen, young lady.
I understand. But hopefully meeting tomorrow in person will help lay some of those worries to rest. Then you can make your judgment from there.
Well, we are already scheduled to meet tomorrow. I just hope that you don't let me down. You and my son will not be getting married without my say-so. I certainly hope that you understand that already.
I understand that completely, and again, I'm not marrying Xavier for any kind of ambitious reasons. So I want to assure you that you have nothing to worry about there. I just hope you realize all of this tomorrow.
So, tomorrow you're finally going to meet your fiancé's family, right? How are you feeling? Are you nervous or excited? Both?
Hey, Mac. Thanks for always checking in on me. It really does mean a lot.
Ha ha ha. I take that response to mean that someone must be a little nervous, right?
I actually just finished talking with Xavier's dad for a bit. I had no idea that his family would take this thing so seriously.
Well, it is their son getting married. Or do you mean take it seriously in another way?
Well, I know that Xavier's family run a business and all, but I feel like I'm getting ready for a job interview rather than just meeting my future in-laws. It isn't like I don't get where they're coming from, but I just wish his dad was a little less intense about all of this.
Right, yeah, I was wondering about that. I looked into them a bit and they're quite new to having money, so I'm sure they're extra guarded about who they let in.
Oh, don't you go justifying all of this for them now, too. That's just making me feel more pressure about all of this.
I'm sorry, but it seems like there is a bit of pressure on you already. I mean, do you think they're going to ask about your family? I just hope that once they understand who your dad is, that this solves everything.
I certainly hope so, but more than that, I want them to like me for who I am. I don't want to be relying on my dad for everything, especially not who I can marry.
I know what you mean, but to people like Xavier's dad, I bet these kinds of things are as much business as they are personal.
Well, you're probably right about that, to be honest.
Well, let me know if anything happens. Just don't forget that you do have people in your corner who want to be there for you.
Thanks a lot, Mac. That is really nice to hear. For now, just keep your fingers crossed that everything goes well for me tomorrow. Mac, are you there? Please, I need your help right now.
Wow, Andrea, is everything okay? Can you talk on the phone right now? What's the matter?
I'm on my way to the hospital right now. I want you to meet me there, and I want you to represent me as my lawyer.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Okay, I'll head your way.
I'll send you the address for the hospital and my room number soon.
I knew it. I knew that you were poor this whole time. And yet you had the nerve to try and get near my son? Just who do you think you are, huh? Did you really think I would let you waltz into this family?
Do you have any idea what it is that you've just done?
What are you talking about?
I mean, you do realize that you assaulted me, right? You invited me over to meet you as your son's fiancé, and then you hit me right in the face?
And just what else was I supposed to do when I found out that you were raised by a single father? Did you think that I was just going to not hit you in the face for that? Did you think I was just going to hand over Xavier to you? No, I knew that I would have to break up your marriage right then.
I still can't believe it. I've never seen anyone just act out the way that you did. If you just wanted Xavier and I to not get married, you should have said something. You didn't need to hit me.
And just why do you think you deserve a say in any of this? You're nobody who tried to get out of poverty the easy way by marrying into money. I know that you were only ever with my son because of who his family is. Did you really think that I would be so stupid as to not realize that?
If you don't like me, that's fine. And if you don't want me to marry your son, that's fine too.
And just what was your dad thinking? He's a bit crazy too, isn't he?
What are you talking about?
I mean, shouldn't he have tried to talk you out of this? You would think that at least your dad would be smart enough to know his place.
And just why would my father try and talk me out of marrying your son?
If your dad couldn't go to the bare minimum of trying to talk sense into his daughter, then I think I'm starting to get a really clear picture of just how stupid the both of you are.
So punching me in the face wasn't enough? You're still going to run your mouth and talk bad about my father? I'm sorry, but that just makes me angry.
Do you think I care at all about how some poor little nobody feels about what I do? I'm rich. I run my own business. Pissing little peons like you off is all just part of my job.
Oh, yes. I'm sure that you and I live in completely different worlds, the likes of which I could never understand. And I guess living in that world led you to act in ways that only make sense to you. But I'm afraid that you are going to regret this, Bob.
And just what is some girl raised by a poor single father going to be able to do to me? I already hit you in the face, so why can't you just get out of here?
Maybe you don't know this, but my father is an important real estate mogul.
Yeah, right. In your dreams.
You don't have to believe me if you don't want, but I've already told my dad all about what happened between us. Your company doesn't have much longer now.
Oh, really? You're still going to try and pretend like I believe this little lie of yours? You and your father are both nobodies who can do nothing to affect me in the slightest.
And just what do you have against people who were raised by single parents anyway, huh? My mother died when I was very little, and I know that my dad poured his heart and soul into raising me right. In fact, I think that my father is a much better man than you could ever hope to be.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
You might think that I'm poor just because I only had one parent. But that parent started his own business, watched it grow, and is now one of the most powerful real estate people in the state. Surely you've heard of Carl Reeves, right? Well, he's my father, and if I'm not mistaken, one of your most important clients.
Enough already. This joke wasn't funny the first time, but now I'm getting sick of it. You and Carl Reeves are not related, and it's astounding to me that you think I would ever fall for that. In fact, I want to know just how you even knew we're business partners in the first place. You must have done your homework, huh?
And just what would I have to gain from lying to you about this? I've already agreed to break up with your son when I thought we would be getting married.
So then, you're telling the truth about all this?
That's right. And my father is furious with you. That's why he's selling all the stock of your company that he owns. You're about to be facing bankruptcy, and it is all your fault. This is what you get for putting people down when you know nothing about them. You don't know anything at all about how my dad raised me.
Wait, hold on just a minute. You're really being serious with all this? You're really Carl's daughter?
And just why is that so hard to believe, huh? You seriously need to get over yourself and learn not to judge based on appearance. I was so close to marrying your son, and it would have brought your and my father's company closer together, but now none of that is happening. It was too easy for my father to cancel his contracts with a tiny company like yours. He has 1,000 other companies who would all love to take your place. I told you not to worry about me being after your family's money, and now you know why. My family always had way more money than yours ever did.
Wait, no, this can't be happening. Well, if what you're telling me is true, then I'm so sorry for the way I acted. But it's clear now that this was all just one big misunderstanding. I hope you can forgive me.
Oh, just shut up. It is way too late for any of that now. You brought all of this on yourself, and there is no way out of it. I told you that I would make you pay for this.
Wait, no, please, come on. It was just an honest mistake, really. I had no idea that there were single parents who were rich too. I should have looked more into you. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. Thanks to that, I know exactly the kind of person that you are, and I feel glad that I got out when I did. In fact, if you knew who I really was, you probably would have been eager to have your son marry me so that you could have my family's money.
But, please, you have to forgive me. I'll even let you marry Xavier.
Do you really think that's what I want now?
What do you mean?
I mean that I don't want to marry your son any more than I want to keep talking to you. Besides, the engagement has already been called off. And if you think that anyone, including me, is going to want me to stay with the man whose father punched me in the face, you've got another thing coming. Maybe next time you should do a little homework before you act out like that. But that's all that I really have to say to you now.
Please, no! I made a mistake and I'm really sorry for it. I didn't mean for any of this to happen at all. Can't we just go back to the way things were?
That's not going to happen. I am never going to give Xavier a second chance again. And I already have a close friend of mine who's a lawyer looking into suing you for assaulting me.
Wait, no. You can't be serious.
Oh, I am. And soon your company and your life will both come crumbling down around you.
But you can't do all of this. Please, you have to forgive me. I'm begging you here.
And I am telling you that it's way too late for any of this. You hit me in the face and sent me to the hospital. I'm here getting looked at right now, in fact.
But I didn't even hit you that hard. Surely you're just over-exaggerating.
We'll see who's over-exaggerating in court now, won't we? But I'm sure any jury is just so eager to pardon a man who punched a lady in the face. You're through, you pathetic pig. Even Xavier tried coming to me to apologize and said that he never wanted to talk to you again.
Wait, why would he say something like that? Doesn't he know I was just trying to protect the family?
To him, you were doing nothing but finding excuses for your own violent behavior.
But then I'll have nothing. No business, no money, no family. What am I supposed to do?
You did this to yourself, Bob. You hit me in the face to try and prove a point, but you were never going to get away with this. Even if I wasn't rich, thanks to my dad, you're still not above the law, and you can't just assault people for being poor.
But that doesn't mean you have to sue me. I learned my lesson, and it'll never, ever, ever happen again. Isn't that enough for you?
I'm afraid it won't be enough until I see everything that made you into the person who thought you could treat other people like that, stripped away from you. You need to remember what it's like to be one of the common people, and I will see that that happens. See you in court, Bob. In the end, Andrea's father only needed to make a couple of phone calls and the fate of Bob's company was sealed. It had declared bankruptcy within the week with no chance of recovery. Bob was left by his wife and Xavier was still refusing to talk to him. When Bob had his day in court, he had it all alone. After the trial was done, my dad swooped in and bought Bob's defunct business, breathing new life into it and saving it from closing down. My dad installed himself as the head of the company as his own way of getting back at Bob. Although it's fair to say that Bob brought all of this upon himself and has no one to blame but himself.